Anything you could think of, if you could actually think of it, it means you can do it, right? Does that make sense? So if it pops up in your brain, it means that you have the ability to do it. Why? Because the brain would never think of something that it could not do.
What's up, family? Welcome back to Mantle Motivations. Of course, it is I, your host, Dominique. Today, I want to talk to y'all about something special. I always want to talk to y'all about something special because the message is always special, right? I want to talk about from dreaming to doing. A lot of times we have thoughts and we have visions about things that we want to do in life or we can see ourselves doing in life. And that's sometimes all they are. They end up being stuck in our head because we don't know how to get them out of our head. Well, in this particular episode, I'm going to give you some steps that have actually been proven to work because I have done them myself, and I will use some real life examples to show you what I'm talking about. I'll give you some steps on how to take what's in here and give it some legs, and give it some arms, and give it some feet, and put it into action. So we can actually take what you're thinking that your life could be and actually turn it into that thing that it can be. All right? So we're not just going to continue to just sit and think and ponder on things. We want to start to make things happen. Okay? So check out this intro and come right back to me so we can go ahead and get in these steps. See you in a second.
Automatic redirection. Tired of tested on the same lesson. Get the money, keep collecting. I expect the best and nothing less. I bet I get it. Automatic redirection. Tired of tested on the same lesson. Get the money, keep collecting. I expect the best and nothing less. I bet I get it.
Alright, so what are we talking about today?
Plenty reason to stop. I think I'll keep working. Now everybody heard.
Faith
Waiting on
without
the
work.
turn. I'm trying to waste my time. I think I'll refocus. Can't take a break.
I'm getting ready to go do some steps
Can't be
here to
late
take
at
you
the stake.
from
Lots to
just
lose,
talking
lots to leave,
to
and more to
actually
gain. It's worth the pain.
I know there's a lot of people that are
little
like,
things,
man, I
just
wish I
little
could do
things.
this,
So
or I wish I could
operate
do that,
alone in the
or I
rain.
wish I could do this, or I wish I
Got a
could do
friend, I'm
that.
trying to
Well,
catch
the
her.
crazy
She
part about it
impatient.
is,
If I ain't there, she leaving no
anything,
delay. I
when
gotta
people
go,
say
I
you can
can't
do
afford
anything
to
you put your mind to, I
wait.
choose
Turn myself around,
to.
throw away all my inhibitions.
Because if you think you can do it, the only difference between thinking you can do it and actually doing it are the
I expect the best and nothing less. I bet I get it.
One thing I love about Beyonce, and after watching the documentary, and of course following her for years, one thing that she believes in is that if I can fake it, it can happen. And she acts on that. I mean, as we see, look at Cowboy Carter right now. Look at all the other tours, all of these other things and major feats that she's done. Anything Beyonce has thought about or wanted to do, she has done it. She is a true testament. She truly walks the walk. She doesn't just talk the talk, but she also walks the walk. So that's what we're going to talk about doing today. Not just talking the talk, because a lot of people talk. A lot of people say, I want to do this, or I want to do this, or I think I'm about to do this, or I'm trying to. It's easy to talk.
I'm really trying to refocus. I think you need to
But what sets people apart is action. Are you actually doing what you're talking about? And a lot of times, sometimes we talk too much and don't do enough work to back it up at all. Sometimes you just have to put your head down and get to work. Everybody don't have to know what you're doing. You don't have to tell everybody what you're doing. You can just show them. I grew up hearing the phrase, show me. Because if you can show me, then I know you can do it. Just telling me you can do it, anybody can tell me they can do it. You show me you can do it, I can believe in that. I can believe in your word. I'm a firm believer in showing people more so than just doing and talking. I think that's why at work, and I'm not just saying this to my own horn, but I'm saying it as confirmation for what other people have told me as well. I'm a good leader at work. And it's not just because I talk and I just tell other people what to do. Well, it's because I actually do the work too. And I'm never going to expect somebody to do something that I would never do. I'm not going to send somebody out to go do something or do a task that just because I don't want to do it. I'm not that type of person. If it's something that I would do, then I would ask you to do it. If it's not something that I want to do, I'm not going to ask you to do it either. So I believe in what Migos say, walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it, right? So let's get into that. So what's the first step that we need to do from turning our vision to reality? So you guys, you see me looking down, I got my notes. I always got my notes. So first thing we need to do is write the vision down. Okay. I have a dream journal. Sometimes I wake up and I remember my dreams. I immediately put that stuff in my phone, detail for detail. When I think of things, I could be out kicking with friends. I could be at work. I could be anywhere. I could think of something. I could think of like a book idea, or I can think of a script, or I can think of a good podcast topic. And I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and write that down. Let me put that in my notes, and then I'll work on it later. Because you don't want the thought to escape you. So don't just think of something and then be like, okay, I'll take care of that later. Because later on, you probably won't remember what that great idea was. So it's very important to write down your visions, make it clear, right? Habakkuk 2:2, the New International Version says, write down the revelation and make it plain on tablets so that a herald may run with it. So basically, it's just saying, write it down, make it plain. So I was it last year or year before last? I took I think it was last year, 2024. First off, let me say this: 2024 was for me one of the most productive years of my life because I did so much. I didn't necessarily tell people what I was doing. I just did it and got stuff done. Last year, I started this podcast. And an example I'm about to tell you right now, I did a script writing class. I did some other stuff that I was interested in doing. I started writing my book. I started working on business plans for certain things that I have ideas for. That I'm not going to necessarily get into right now because, again, you don't want to talk about too much of stuff you got going on, but I'm just giving you some examples of what I have going on right now because, like I said, I want to give you real life examples of what I'm going through so you can know this stuff actually does work because I'm doing it too in real time. I did it last year. I have a calendar on my wall in the office, and I need to update it. But I have a calendar. It's a 3-month calendar, which is quarter by quarter. And my wife and I was having a conversation one day, and we got the idea by listening to I think it was somebody's Instagram or something like that, where it was a business guy, a CEO or something. And he was saying, you know, everything in the business world goes by quarters. And when he writes his plans and when he writes his goals, he does it by quarters. He said, don't sit down and write just some New Year's resolutions because 365 days is a lot of days. Even though it may go by fast, but 365 days is a lot of days. To make things more tangible or easier to get a handle on things, do it quarter by quarter, right? We have 4 quarters in a year. And actually, I'm taping this on June 30th. You guys are going to see this on July 2nd. We just ended our second quarter. So right now we're going into the third quarter. So we're at halftime right now. Okay. So if you think, oh man, I didn't start my New Year's resolution back in January like I was supposed to. Oh man, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. You still got we got 6 months left, right? Think of a basketball game. Basketball game has 4 quarters. There are some teams that are known to be second half teams. What that means is the first half of the game, first quarter and second quarter, they may not perform too well. They might put up some numbers on the board. They might get some things going, but they're not performing at their peak. But they're known as a second half team, meaning when they come back from halftime, they turn up the heat. And that's when the real competition begins because they feel the pressure of the game getting ready to end. Now, I don't want you to feel pressured because we only got 6 months left. That's not why I'm saying that. But what I am telling you to do is turn up the heat, right? We're at halftime right now. So turn up the heat. Turn up the heat by writing down your plans. Like I said, the first quarter is gone, the second quarter is gone. We're now entering the third quarter. You can start right now. Whatever resolution you had in January, if you weren't able to complete it, or if you fell off the game, what have you, it doesn't matter. You don't have to wait till January of 2026 to try to start that thing over again. You can start it whenever you want to. If you want to jump start right now, go ahead and get into that thing right now. Let's start the third quarter off with a bang. Pretend like it's January 1st. Pretend like it's January 1st, 2025. Take that New Year's resolution, bring it into July, and let's go ahead and start from there. All right. I know sometimes people like to focus on when they're starting things. I want to start at the beginning of the month, or I want to start at the beginning of this, or I want to start at the beginning of that. Well, now you're in the beginning of the third quarter. So start. And start by doing what? Writing it down. So I went on that little tangent, but let's go back. So I decided to take a script writing class. And I had so many creative ideas in my head. So many different plots and characters and even visuals. And it was a lot going on in here. And for some of you who don't know, I like to write. I've started a couple of things on my computer that I'm working on simultaneously. So I have so many different ideas. Like even in my phone, I might be out thinking of something, and I'm like, let me put that in my notepad real quick and put a brief uh, uh um a brief summary of what I'm thinking about. Or I might have a dream about something. I'll wake up, like I said, my dream journal, and I'll put it in there. It might be a book idea, it might be a movie idea, it might be something, or something for the podcast. But that's what I do. I write my stuff down. I put it in my phone, or I write it down on paper, or I type it out on my laptop. It's important to get that stuff out of your head and onto paper or onto a screen so you can see it. Because now you're doing more than just thinking about it, you're visualizing it, right? So that's what we want to do. The start of this third quarter, let's start visualizing. Whatever it is that you want to do. It could be something as small as I want to learn how to swim. Write that down. Get it out your head. I want to learn how to swim. And start looking at dates. Start doing some research. Start looking up things. Where can you go to learn how to swim? Right? Well, is somebody offering free classes, or somebody offering classes you have to pay for, or what pool is open in your area where you can go and get some swimming classes, right? So write it down. You got to make it concrete. Writing it down is the equivalent to laying a firm foundation on a house, right? Think of it that way. Think of writing it down as laying a firm foundation on a house. Because when you're making a house, you have to have a foundation first, right? When you see them building a house, you see there's a hole in the ground, right? They got a big hole in the ground that's going to be the size or the width of the house. And if they have a basement, they start building the basement down there. They're laying the cement, doing everything down, laying the cement and doing everything for the basement. They start making they're laying everything down for the foundation, for the basement, laying down the cement, right? Even if you're not going to have a full basement, they're still going to lay down some type of concrete foundation, something sturdy. You cannot build you cannot build a house on shaky ground. You will not build a house on sand. You cannot build a house on water. You cannot build a house on rocks, right? There has to be something there that is not movable, because without a firm foundation, the whole thing is going to crumble and fall. So you writing down your thoughts, you writing down your plans, you writing down your visions, you writing down anything is going to be your firm foundation. I want you to think of it that way. Writing stuff down is your firm foundation, and then you can build from there. Okay? The second step is create a plan. Now you've gotten it written down, right? We started talking about that a little bit. You want to learn how to swim. I'm just using swimming as just a quick example. You want to learn how to swim. Or we'll go back to using me for an example. I wanted to learn how to write scripts, right? Because I had so many different ideas. I was like, it could either be a book, or it could either be a television show, or it can either be a movie. But I needed help on how to organize my thoughts, right? Because they were just all jumbled up in my mind, and when I had so many things I was thinking about at the same time, and I'm like, okay, I want to do this script writing class, I want to do this, and I want to start a podcast, and I want to do this business plan, and I had to get this stuff out of my head, one, so I can focus on things, right? And then two, so I can start my foundation by writing it down. And then now I can create a plan on what I see. Okay, so when I started working on my book, I didn't just say I want to be an author, right? I mapped out the things. I mapped out my chapters, and now I'm starting to create deadlines and writing a timeline for myself of how I want to do it. Because honestly, my goal is to get this done by the end of the year. I'm giving myself 2 quarters. Okay, it's not go. I could probably get it done in a quarter. Because the quarter is only 3 months. I could probably get it done in a quarter, but I'm giving myself a little extra time, and I'm giving myself some grace because this is my first time doing this. So I'm giving myself until the end of the year, right? So that's my plan. That's my strategy. With that, with creating a plan, with strategizing, and organizing your thoughts, I want you to make sure that you use your resources too. Okay, you can do things like create outlines, um, writing down your strategies. You can utilize AI. You can utilize Google or Word documents. Whatever you need to help create a plan. One thing I can say about AI, whether it's ChatGPT or whatever it is that you're comfortable using, it will really truly help you create a plan and organize your thoughts. If you write a prompt for ChatGPT right now saying, let's say you're working on a business plan, and say, hey, um, I am I want to create a business for, I don't know, resume writing. Let's say I want to create a business for resume writing. And I want to try to generate money for this business within 90 days. Can you assist in creating a business plan for me? How to start the business, what I need to do, how can I advertise or market or make money off of this business? Give me some steps or a plan, because I don't know anything, and how we can get things rolling within 90 days. AI, ChatGPT, whichever one you utilize, will literally map out your entire plan. Here's another example I use. I started using AI for working out. I know what I wanted to do in the gym. I told my AI what kind of gym I had, what kind of equipment I had. I said it was a full cross fitness, a free weight, machine weight gym with cardio equipment. And I want you to create a 5 day, or actually, I said a 7 day workout plan, including rest days. And it asked me some questions, of course, for feedback, because it's going to tailor it to you and what it is that you want. So I said, I want to work out in the gym approximately 3 days a week, and I want workouts where I'm at home approximately 2 days a week. I also want to add workouts that on my active rest days, I want to add activities like maybe running or biking or walking a track or playing basketball or playing tennis. And please also include a rest day. ChatGPT broke that thing down for me all the way down to the reps and incorporated everything I needed. And those little videos that y'all been seeing on my TikTok and social media, some of those workouts have been from ChatGPT. And I mean, my girl been laying it out for me, telling me what I need to do. And then I throw in, hey, I want a variation of back exercises, or I want a variation of bicep exercises, or I want a variation, a different variation every other week to challenge myself, or something to keep me going, keep me growing, keep me moving. And she will do that. Gave me a whole month plan, and then made some suggestions. Would you like to tweak this? Would you like to add these exercises, or would you like to try these exercises? Or are you ready? Are you ready to challenge yourself even more, Dominique? I have more ideas for you. So I'm telling you, AI is amazing. Don't be scared of it. Use it to your advantage. So creating business plans and creating workouts, and even for diet. My wife and I did a pescatarian diet for the month of June, and actually it has gone so well that we're working on making it a lifestyle. We're not working, we are making it a lifestyle change. And I told told the AI, create a budget friendly shopping list for a pescatarian diet, including fruits and vegetables, giving me the price points of how much everything is. I told them what stores I wanted to shop at. I told them find the cheapest prices for me for my grocery list. Um, and make sure the things on the grocery list are not just random items, but things that can be made into meals. When I tell you, this thing was so specific and hooked me and my wife up. We went to the grocery store, got everything we needed. It gave us the price point breakdown for each week. And we got so much in that one weekend. Honestly, those groceries lasted us um, a whole month because it's just me and her. So it lasted us a whole month, and it gave us ideas for snacks in between meals. It gave us a breakfast, lunch, and dinner breakdown, and snacks in between. I mean, it's so amazing. It's so amazing. I'm telling you, use it to your advantage. So that's step number 2. First, you writing it down, you're creating your foundation. Then number 2, you're creating a plan. So it's time to strategize and get your steps together. And a good scripture for that is Proverbs 21:5. It says, "The plans of the diligent lead to profit, as surely as haste leads to poverty." Think about that. Okay. A good example is um, I took a day to make sure I'm writing something. Let's say I blocked out a time on Sundays just to write. I use my phone notes during work breaks or jot down some lines. I work smarter, not harder, right? So always have a plan and always find a way to strategize or work on your stuff little bit like by little bit. It don't always have to be a big um one big time session of okay, I'm gonna dedicate 5 hours today to writing. No, because you might not have 5 hours to dedicate to writing. You might not have 5 hours to dedicate to the gym. A lot of people, we all live busy lives, right? So say, okay, I'm gonna go to the gym, or if you can't make it to the gym, I'm gonna work out from home for 30 minutes today. Boom. 30 minutes, you got it. Or like myself, I might be at work and I have some downtime. I'm gonna go on my notes and I'm gonna see what else I can write, which story I want to write on, what I want to talk about, or if I want to work on a podcast topic. All right, let me go ahead and work on this excuse me. Let me go ahead and work on this podcast topic. Let me do some research for this. Let me get myself together for the next podcast that's coming out, or for my Friday field, or what have you. All right. So writing it down, creating that firm foundation, and then step 2 is creating a plan. Step 3, what are we talking about in step 3? Step 3 is a big part. It's taking the first step. All right. Thinking about it is easy to do. Writing is also easy to do. Creating a plan, that might be a little challenging, but hey, again, utilize your resources, your AIs, Google Documents, Excel sheet, whatever you got to utilize to help strategize, calendars, all that type of stuff. Do it. But taking the first step sometimes is the hardest thing, because taking the first step will cause you to step out of your comfort zone. Trust me, I know. Creating this podcast was a big deal for me last year. Stepping out of my comfort zone and getting in front of a camera and talking, and then putting it out there for the world to see. Like, what? Like, I never considered myself to be a content creator or, anything like that. And I'm like, I just all of a sudden now I'm getting ready to start recording myself talking and saying these things in front of the camera, and then I'm going to post it on the internet for everybody to see. That's a lot, because people are extremely judgmental. But thankfully, I don't live my life based off the opinions of people, and you shouldn't either. So I forgot what I was watching, but I remember I was watching something, and this gentleman said, do what scares you the most. Because that thing that scares you the most is also going to be the thing to break you free. Right? I was terrified to start a podcast. I truly was. And now it feels so natural to me. I don't even bat an eye at it. I just get in front of my phone or get in front of my laptop and hit record, and boom, here I am. It's second nature to me now. Creating videos, creating uh, creating TikToks, Facebook, Instagram posts, whatever it is. I'm comfortable with a lot of this stuff now. So taking the first step, guys. You laid the foundation already. You got your plan together. Now you're taking your first step. So, like I was just saying, when I launched Mantle Motivations at first, it wasn't perfect. It still isn't perfect. It's getting better by better as it go on. And I didn't have a lot. I'm big about being perfect. I'm big about planning things. So That's why it's really truly important for somebody like me to have a plan and be strategic about what I'm going to do, and be intentional, sorry, about what I'm going to do. Because I will sit there and, like, I was thinking about this podcast and I was like, okay, what do I need? Okay, I need this. I need to get this type of camera. I need to get this type of lighting. I need to get this. I need to get that. I need to do this. I need to start this up. And then before I knew it, I had a whole list of stuff that was just, really didn't mean too much. And finally, I give credit to my wife because she said, "You got a cell phone, right? And we got a laptop in the office, right?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Girl, if you don't get on there and record that podcast," just as simple as that. Sometimes you do need a nudge from somebody else, but take the first step. The first step is not going to be perfect. My first video wasn't necessarily perfect. This video I'm recording now is not necessarily perfect. It might not be up to somebody else's standards of recording a podcast, but this is what I'm able to do and this is what I'm capable to do. This is the level that I'm at right now. I'm not going to always be at this level. I know I'm not. I'm not going to always be at this level. One day I'll probably have a whole production team. Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. But right now, this is the level that I'm at. And I'm going to excel from that. I'm going to get better at editing. I'm going to get better at lighting. I'm going to get better at audio. I'm going to get better at so many different things. But I had to take the first step. I would not have ever gotten to this point right now if I had never started last year. So that's why it's important to take the first step. And now that I think about it, I think it's actually officially has been 1 year. Yeah, I think it's officially 1 year now since I've had Mantle Motivations. Now I know I took a break. I took a break in December and then I didn't come back until March, but I needed that break because doing this, pouring out, pouring out, pouring out, pouring out, you got to make sure you recharge. But later on this year, I'm not going to take as much of a long break as I did this past year. But this does mark, I think, around 1 year where I have been working on. I may not have been in front of the camera the full entire year, but I have been working on the podcast and working on getting some things together. So you have to take the first step. The first step is not going to necessarily be perfect, and that's okay. It's all right. Okay? It doesn't have to be perfect coming out the gate. How do you know what it is that you need to work on unless you work on it? You're not. You're not going to know what it is you need to work on unless you work on it. You got to start somewhere. All right? Look at Tyler Perry. He didn't start out as a billionaire. That man was homeless. That man was living in his car. That man was writing plays that at in the beginning nobody was coming to. Where he would still have to pay the crew and the cast from nothing. He was robbing Peter to pay Paul to try to get these productions up, or he didn't have any money to pay cast and crew, right? Like that's how he started. He had these ideas and he was writing his stuff down, writing his script down, writing his plays down. And then he would go rent these theaters and would try to promote. He was out there promoting, passing out flyers himself, and cast and crew passing out flyers. And 5 people would be in the audience. But he was still giving his all. He had to start somewhere, and look at him now, a multi-billionaire, right? Creating other opportunities in Hollywood for so many different actors and actresses. So you have to start somewhere, all right? Gotta start somewhere. A scripture I want you to ponder on for step 3 is Ecclesiastes 11:4. Whoever watches the wind will not plant. Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap. So just looking and wondering and pondering is not going to get things done. Have to take action. All right. So writing it down is great. Strategizing and making a plan is great. But taking the action is even greater. Let's move on to step 4 here. All right, so we got the foundation. You're writing it, right? You're being strategic and you're making your plans. Now you're ready to take your first step. Step 4 is setting tangible goals and dates. I spoke about this earlier, about utilizing your calendars, utilizing AI to help with setting a timeline for you, right? So let's use these tools. So everything I do has a timeline, it's got to have a timeline. Doing these podcasts, I have a timeline. I record on certain days, I edit on certain days, and I make sure I get the video out on specific days, right? My day that I like to get my videos out is every Wednesday. I like to do my Friday feels obviously on every Friday, and I've been thinking about some other stuff that I want to do during the week. But I have to plan my stuff out accordingly to make sure that I got to plan my schedule around my podcast too. Because if I know I'm going to be editing on a Sunday, I'm not doing anything else on a Sunday. I need to dedicate a couple of hours to myself, to this podcast, to sit down and edit this to make sure it's ready and I can schedule it to go out on Wednesday. Or if I'm able to do it a week in advance, depending on what I have going on, I can schedule it to go out the next day. I can schedule it to go out on time. But that's important. So you got to set your tangible goals. You got to have timelines, right? That's why the calendars are important. You can start off slow. You want to make small goals. Plan stuff week by week. Okay? Plan stuff week by week. Even in being strategic. Going back to step 3, taking a first step. Let's see, you write down your plan, right? That's your foundation. And then step 2 is you're creating the plan, right? So a part of your goals and stuff for step 4 could also be writing a goal for you to actually take your first step. Okay? Let's look at me, for example. When I started this podcast, I wrote on my calendar and I circled it. First episode airs this day. And then I set a schedule after that, week by week. Second episode, third episode, fourth episode, fifth episode, and so on and so on and so on. And before I knew it, I got up to 20 episodes and did 20 episodes. My first season has 20 episodes in it, y'all. That's crazy. Going from not wanting to get in front of the camera to starting to enjoy myself and having 20 episodes. So I needed a break. That's why I needed a break, right? I didn't know I was going to get up to 20 episodes. It just so happened like that because I got into it and I planned it out and I was going according to my plan. And then I looked up and I was like, oh man, I'm at 20 episodes. I said, okay, all right, well, I'm going to stop right here and I'm going to take a break and recoup and come back. And that's what I did. So do that with your goals. You can do your goals week by week. You can do them day by day. You can say every Friday I want to do this, or every Tuesday I want to do this, or you can do it once a month. All right. Every first Friday, this is what I'm going to do towards this plan. Okay. Or every second Saturday, this is what I'm going to do. When it comes to working out, you can say, okay, I'm not too gung ho about going to the gym, or I got to slow to get back into things because I haven't worked out in such a long time. All right, so this is what I'm doing. Every day, Monday through Friday, I'm going to take at least 10 minutes. 10 minutes. 10 minutes is not a lot of time now. 10 minutes go by fast. I'm going to take 10 minutes to work out. Or I'm going to do 15 minutes of walking. Whether you're walking up the stairs or down the stairs, if you live in an apartment building or something, you're walking up the stairs and walk down the stairs for 15 minutes. That's exercise. You want to go walk to the park, 15 minutes. That's exercise. You want to turn on a YouTube video and find a 15-minute workout. do that. Or if you want to actually go to the gym and walk the stairmaster for 15 minutes, or get on a bike, or get on a treadmill, get on the elliptical for 15 minutes. Do something, right? Do something. Start off small and then work your way up. A lot of people do that. Get on the elliptical, get on whatever it is. They start off 5 minutes, then they work their way up to 10 minutes, then they work their way up to 15 minutes. Then before they know it, they on that elliptical for an hour. No, they're on the elliptical for an hour. It don't even phase them. So start small, work your way up, set your goals, make them tangible, write your dates down, all that good stuff. All right?
Oh man, I know it was getting real good. I know it was. But look, I have to cut it off. Next week, I'm coming back and I'm going to end this thing and I'm going to give you all steps 5, 6, and 7. You do not want to miss it. Come on back so we can talk about the rest of the steps and about turning your dreams into reality. It's about that time. Let's get it. Peace and love.